Good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday, Thanksgiving week, November 22nd, 2022. I am Jay Vix. Welcome to another live episode of Meet the Experts. And this is the show where we talk to local business owners, local to wherever they are, because we've reached out around the country. And we give business owners the chance to tell their story. A lot of business owners have talked to me and they said, creating video is one of those things they struggle with, right? Either they don't like the sound of their own voice or they just don't know how. They don't know how to edit. They're wearing all these other hats in their business. The last thing they want to think about is video. We have the ability to give them a chance to tell their story on video, package it up, and give it to them so that they can put out some nice about us videos or just break it down into little social media clips and answer questions. So we often give our guests a chance to really put some questions and objections to rest, and also just give them a chance to tell their story. Today's guest, and this is episode 37 now. Today's guest is a real personal friend of mine. Somebody who I've grown to know and trust, and I consider him almost like he's like a brother to me in a sense, but he's mentored me on being a girl dad. He's mentored me on just life and business and different things. So I practically, I don't want to say I begged Des to come on the show, but I've talked to Des a lot about being on the show, and finally he gave in, and I think it's going to be a really cool episode. So my friend Des Laffan also hails from New Jersey, like I do. He earned a BS in economics from Villanova. I know him and his wife, Eileen, fairly well. She works in the hospital industry here, or the hospital here, Cohen. They have two grown daughters who are both super duper smart, well-educated, and doing really awesome. But what Des has done is he opened several years back Carolina Custom Signs and Graphics, and we're going to talk all about that today, what he actually does for people, who he serves, and how he gives those people a transformation. So without further ado, let me go ahead and bring up my buddy Des Laffan to the screen. Des, how the heck are you, my friend?
Jay, good to see you, man.
Good to see you. Thanks for finally agreeing to come on the show.
Yeah, you really push hard, man. Hey, before we get started, I'm noticing one thing that I need to fix. I think we need to hang a sign behind you that says "Meet the Experts," something cool, and I gotta put that on me to make that happen. Just get me the graphics.
I was gonna say, I know a guy that could make that happen.
Yeah.
Okay. My dad always said that when I was growing up. He would always be like, "I know a guy. I got a guy." Right?
Yeah.
Like a Jersey thing. Guy.
It's good to know.
Des, yeah. Tell us a little bit more about who you are and what you do.
Well, hey, so thanks for the lovely, warm invitation and for that. That really, you really made me sound fantastic, and my family makes me look better than I actually am, and I'm very proud of my girls. So my name's Des Laffan. I moved here in 1987. I migrated from New Jersey, like Jay. My wife and I just decided Jersey was too difficult and it was too expensive and it was too everything. So we packed up our Volkswagen Golf and with everything we owned, and we moved down here. And first thing she did was get a job at Cohen. She's a nurse. And then I had to figure out my stuff. And what I decided to do, and it's kind of the reason why we came down here, was to open a business and to exploit a lot of the really good available talent that was here for what I was doing back in the late 80s, 90s, and into the early 2000s, which was I had a business that did pharmaceutical packaging, that did printing of pharmaceutical packaging. The business was known as Pharma Label. It's still in existence under a different name now. There's maybe 140 employees here in Greensboro that still work in that business that we started long ago. So when I finally exited that in 2016 and started Carolina Custom Signs and Graphics, it was just very natural to kind of go back to where we started. When we started that other business, it was just a couple of people in a 5,000 square foot building and a lot of aspirations. And one thing led to another, and it blew up. And here I am again in a 3,000 square foot building with aspirations, and I've got the best team that a guy could ever hope for. And we are getting at it, and we are growing the business, and it's been outstanding. It's been a great experience, and I love doing this, and I'm excited to talk about it.
Awesome. Well, I love the passion. I get to talk to you a few times a week, and I know how hard you and your team work, and I know the quality of things that your team puts out. So, speaking of these things, right, your main products, what are some of the main products and services, and who do they help?
Well, what we like the name maybe implies, Carolina Custom Signs and Graphics. We do custom signage, and it's all commercial. So we're really just working with businesses, a lot of startup companies that are just getting their site set up for customers. So they need signage and graphics, and a lot of vehicle graphics also. But we work with every type of commercial business. It can be a MAPA small one. We do a lot of that. We do a lot of the mid-size, and we do a lot with the big guys. And we do some projects that are pretty sizable and exciting. We've done stadium signage in Winston-Salem for the Winston-Salem minor league baseball team, the Dash, that's the name.
Yep,
and
yep.
We also did signage in the NCA&T football stadium. So we do some of the bigger stuff, and we do, like I said, a little bit of everything. I'm not sure as we evolve if we're going to kind of figure out maybe one lane that we prefer, but so far we're enjoying kind of running in all the lanes and helping as many types of businesses as we can.
That's awesome. So I know one of the things that you had done was some good vehicle graphics, because we had done a logo a while back for a great company who was one of our first guests on Meet the Experts, which was Jess Trott from Organize with Jess. And you guys prominently display her van, I think, on the website with the logo on it. So every time I see it, I'm
Jess
happy.
had a great vision for her brand. And I know you did some of the logo work for it, and we just kind of put it together for her, so it made her happy. She's, she knows what she wants, and she got what she wanted, and it looks amazing. It looks amazing. And then she had a Mercedes van, like a big one, and then she bought a little Jeep, and we kind of matched them up. So she called it Mini Me, the Jeep, but they look like they belong together, and I see them out running around Greensboro, and I love watching her business grow. She's really something.
Absolutely. I think that's got to be really cool. It kind of brings me to my next question of a winner, a testimonial. But you personally, that's got to be really cool when you drive by a vehicle that you wrapped, or a sign that you guys, created and hung. I mean, that's got to bring you a certain level of satisfaction.
I'll tell you what, early on when we first started putting signs up, I couldn't wait to drive my wife out there and take a look at what we did. And then we started, every time we did a restaurant, I've got this group of friends that we do like a dinner club. There's like 8 of us. Every time we did a restaurant, they're like, we're going to go to the restaurant as soon as it opens to help support you. So we were running around, going out to the restaurants. And then it got to where we're doing so many restaurants and so many things that, when I drive up Battleground, I'm just pointing everywhere and saying, and it's no longer as interesting or as fun as it used to be. The novelty's kind of worn off now,
Right.
But it's exciting to have that much coverage now and to feel like we're really making an impact in the Triad.
Oh, you definitely are. I think that's incredible. So, okay. So with that being said, now the novelty might have worn off for you, but I'm sure your customers, they got to be thrilled, right? So is there a particular customer win or a testimonial that you've gotten that you're just like, man, that made me feel so good?
I wish there was one. I mean, if you visit our website or just Google the company, you'll see that we've got a bunch of reviews, and people say just wonderful things about the experience they had working with us. And I think that's the thing. It's that experience that we're giving the customer that's really the magical component. It's the testimonial that's kind of across all of our customers, and it speaks to who we are as a company and who we are, who my team is. We just got such a good dedicated group of people. And when the customer calls, we pick up the phone. When we say we're going to get back to them, we get back to them. When we say we're going to get you an estimate for your sign, we do it and we deliver it when we said we were going to deliver it. And that's the reason I got in this business. When I was looking around for something else to do, and signage looks interesting to me because it's graphics, just like I was doing before. It's light manufacturing, which is what we were doing before. So that's all very, very similar. For me anyway, it draws on a lot of my experience, my professional experience. But the thing that we kept finding is that it seemed like the commercial sign industry was stuck in this rut of complacency. And if you reached out to, the local sign company, they might call you back the next day or the next day or the day after that, or never. If they promise you an estimate after visiting your business and talking about your needs, you might get it, you might not. People call us, and maybe they've already had that experience. A lot of times they have, and they can't wait to share it with us when they find out that our experience is so much different, that we're so much more responsive and we care about their needs, and we're not complacent. We don't feel like, well, you're going to be there whether we call you back or not. We know we're going to have the business because, where else are you going to go? Because the next guy is going to do the same thing. Well, not this next guy. We're going to change the game, and that's what we're trying to do in the Triad, and it's exciting.
That's really cool. There's a lot of businesses. I don't even know that it's necessarily your industry. There's a lot of businesses that just don't follow through, and it's like, what are you doing with your leads, man? It's like, people want to give you
money. The leads if you're not going to use them.
Exactly. Well, cool. The next question, we like to call it like earned it, learned it, improved your authority. So everybody's got something that got them to where they are, or something that says, they can do the work they do. So what would that mean for you?
See, I haven't been in the sign business my entire career. I can't say that I've learned it, earned it. It just doesn't feel right for me to say that. But I've been in business for a long time. I've run businesses, and what I've learned, and this is a nice experience, or something that's a gift to any new entrepreneur, is you don't need to know it all. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to have the right people. And if you have the right people, and you'll get the right answers. So I'm not the guy that's 30-year veteran of the sign industry that knows every type of sign and how to put it up and how to install it. And I've got great people that know all those things, and they take care of all that stuff, and I take care of them. My job is to provide them with the tools and the resources and the business, the phone calls, the customers, those things, and let them do their magic. So, I think as an entrepreneur, early on, you probably have to know everything, because you might be the only person in your business, like so many. But as a business grows, you can assign those things to people who have done it many, many times and have that experience. So I really lean on my team.
I'm so glad you said that, because through my entrepreneurial journey of the last 20 years of trying to start and run businesses, and even this one, I often tell people recently, I'm like, JVI Mobile's coming up on 11 years in business in May. And it's like, okay, great. The first 8 years I spent trying to do everything and be everything to everyone, and banging my head against the wall and frustrating. And then I can't possibly keep up with all the changes that specialists, that we need specialists. So now I'm at this point where it's like, let me find the specialists and let's just give them the work, right? And I can just manage the business and support them.
That's it. That's exactly it. Yeah. That's when you finally arrive at that place, it's just so you get a relief out of it. I don't need to do everything. And by the way, we'll do better if I'm not doing everything, or having every answer. So yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, you couldn't. That's fantastic. I'm so glad that you said that. All right. Let's change gears real quick. Now, this could be personally, this could be professionally, but what is something that you're truly thankful for? And this is probably a good week to ask this question, right?
Wow.
So go ahead. Yeah.
Well, you listen, I guess we should kind of try to keep this to, the business, but before I get into the things I'm thankful for within the business, I have a wife. We just 35-year anniversary yesterday. So, we've been together a long time. We've been through a lot together, and she is incredibly supportive of whatever I'm getting into. And, these are risky things. You jump into a business, you put a lot of money into it. We put a lot of money into this business, and, she supported it every step of the way, even at, we're in our 50s, and here we are, investing, our hard-earned capital, our savings into something, but it's doing what it needs to do. So, and then my daughters are unbelievable, so supportive, and they are an inspiration to me and the things that they are doing with their lives. And that's always great. But with the business, I mean, it really comes down for me. I'm so grateful to my team. I had some misses early on, hired some people early on. It's hard when you got when you're learning a business and trying to grow a business and bring in staff. You're not even sure what you really need. And after a couple of years, I made a run at a guy that I heard was great, and how to convince a guy that really has a lot of aspirations to join a small company, that startup, that with a guy that doesn't know a whole lot about it, and here's an empty building that, hopefully someday we're going to fill it up with, it's a hard sell, but, a few dinners and, just conversations and build some trust, and boom, you got somebody in there that can really help you grow the business. And then we hire the next one and the next one, and that one brings in another friend who, and now we have a team of people who are really cohesive, that know what to do, that want to do it right, that want to be successful. And so that's, for me, the thing that I'm grateful for, is I have these guys, and they are every day, caring probably more than I do most days, about getting it right and that kind of thing. So I'm just so happy that we were able to build this team.
First of all, happy anniversary, by the way. I saw you yesterday. I didn't realize. So so here's my belated happy anniversary for you and Eileen.
Thank you.
I love how much that's like the second or third time that you just pushed everything off onto your team, as far as like the praise, the gratitude, the reason for the success.
Sure.
And it definitely shows that having a good team is the business. And I find it fascinating when you find a team member who cares. I don't think anybody truly cares as much as the owner, who's got all their wealth invested in it. But when you find those team members that truly do care about the success of the business, and they could see how, that rising tide lifts all ships types of mentality in a business, I think that that's just really, really cool that you could get to that point. So
yep.
Awesome.
Listen, the first guy that I hired, his name's Joe Grace. He's terrific. The plan is, a succession plan is for him to take the business over when I get older, too old to keep working in it. And to just maintain continuity for everybody, for the customers and for me and for them. So we put together, a succession plan for that, and we hope to pull it off just how it's written up. So yeah, I mean, we made the mistake in 1999. I sold with partners. I sold that previous business to an outside entity, and as much as you have, they claim to have the best of intentions for everyone. It's not always easy, for the people that were there before, when all these changes start to happen and everything is a little different, and maybe you're disconnected from the company so I didn't want that to happen again. I saw that, and it was friends of mine and family, actually, that were working in the business that were going through that, and I didn't want to see it again. So from the start, we were hoping we would find somebody that would take it over. So that's what we did. My girls don't want it. They have other things that they want to do. So
yeah. Mine is 7, and I keep telling her, someday you got to take over Daddy's business. And she's like, no, Daddy, I don't want anything to do with it. So
she's a smart girl.
She really is. I think you're right.
Yes.
All right. So this is how we wrap up the interview. And I think it's a really important question, because in any business, there are questions that you get asked over and over and over again, and you have to, and maybe even some objections that you have to overcome. But I think it's really good. I think everybody should do like a frequently asked questions video and just answer these questions so that people could see it before they even have to ask it. So for you, what are some of those, questions that those potential clients or customers ask that you have to find yourself repeatedly overcoming?
Well, we have, our customers, like I said earlier, they kind of span across, all these different types of businesses and industries and sizes of companies. So depending on, the size, sometimes you have people that really know signage. They bought it before, they understand it. And for, working with them, it's a different, it's the communication starts right away and it's easy. But most people, like, who knows anything about signs? Here you are, you're starting a business and you've got all these things to worry about. And now you're like, oh, we need a sign, we need a sign for the building, and the landlord says this, and I don't know about that, and I don't know what we can do. So, when they call, they don't really know what they can do and what they can't do. And they're really depending on us to understand what their needs are, what they're trying to accomplish with their sign, and what they're going to be allowed to do based on, the city of Greensboro, the city of High Point, they all have very strict rules about what you can and can't do with signage. So we have to understand those things. We apply for those permits. We go out and do the surveys and make sure that the sign is exactly sized so that it's not, more than what's allowed. So I guess to maybe back to your question, when they call, they just don't know, anything. They just know they have this, I've rented a space. This is my business. I have this logo. What next? And then we just kind of take it from there. And that's what, they need from us. So we get excited when we get into those things, because you can just feel the relief, and then they're just trusting us. And then they tell their next door neighbor to come to us. And it's just all, it just all becomes just this wonderful, flurry of love and signage, flurry of love and signage. That's going to be the name of my novel.
Flurry of love and signage. Peace and love. Peace and love. I love it. That's amazing. Well, Des, listen, you have been such a wonderful guest. I feel like it was a whirlwind of an interview. I told you it goes fast, right?
Yeah,
I mean, 22 minutes is like nothing, but I really do appreciate you personally, professionally, everything you do. Thanks for being a guest on Meet the Experts. And I can't wait to see you again really soon. Thanks for coming on.
You're the best, Jay. Thanks so much, man. I appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. We'll see you soon.
Care.
All right. Bye. That was my buddy Des Laffan, Carolina Custom Signs and Graphics. I think you should, if you have a business and you need somebody to hold your hand and get you through that process, I mean, permits and all the different things that go into signage, his team can do it all. He said it many times. So just give him a call. Go to the website. I've got it at the bottom of the screen, right down here. Carolina, it's Greensboro Sign Company.com, as it goes backwards there. Greensboro Sign Company.com. Go over there, fill out a request a free quote, and we actually did have one comment coming in from our friend Cindy, who said that we are two of her favorite people, which is great. So I'm glad she got to tune in, Cindy. It's good to hear from you. And listen, if you want to be an upcoming guest on Meet the Experts, it's open to every existing established business. We'd love to do B2B and also home services businesses and franchises. So if you know somebody in those industries, we'd love to have you. All you have to do for the next couple of weeks anyway is go to guests.howto.agency. So guests.howto.agency. There's no .com. It's a .agency. So don't put a .com anywhere in there. We're going to be unveiling a brand new experience for guests to onboard over the next couple of weeks. But for now, I'd encourage you to apply. It's free. We're booking into the new year right now, and we would love to have you as a guest. So until next time, everybody, look, I hope everyone has a wonderful, happy, healthy, safe Thanksgiving. Thanks for tuning in to Meet the Experts, and we'll see you on an upcoming episode really, really